Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing an Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this with you guys because I've been seeing a lot in the comments, you guys requesting for me to do an update of this. It's been a long time since I actually updated this deck, and this deck has changed quite a lot from the previous build. It's a really fun deck that basically summons out one of the most insane boss monsters in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the form of Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon, which has some of the most insane summoning requirements in the entire game, requiring you to use VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon and an Armed Dragon level 7 to summon this insanely powerful boss monster. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards like getting your name searched for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron along with test stands. So, without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing two copies of Ojama Yellow, 2 copies of Ojama Black, and 2 copies of Ojama Green. So you're playing the original Ojama trio at 2 each. You're basically playing these like this because you really want to be able to get them to your hand with your Oja magic, and they help out a lot to be able to special summon to your side of the field and use them as materials for your cards like your Oja match to be able to get more cards out on the field. We then play 3 copies of Ojama Blue, being one of the most pivotal cards in the entire deck because it has the ability that when it's destroyed battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to add 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand, which is really powerful for this deck because you're going to want to search cards like your Oja Magic, Oja Match, and Oja Mass Assimilation. These are really important cards for this deck to be able to go into because it helps you get your combo plays rolling so you can get in your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And this card can pretty much turn into a 1 card to 2 card Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon if you can draw out your copy of your Rescue Cat, special summon out both blues, swing into an opponent's monster with both of them, and then you get a 4 add of your Ojama cards, which basically is going to get you all the plays you're going to need to go into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. We then play a single copy of Ojama Red. Ojama Red's just in case you have a bunch of Ojamas in your hand. You can almost summon this card out to your side of the field and special summon out 4 other Ojamas from your hands. This card is very, very helpful in the deck to be able to get a lot of your Ojamas like yellow, black, and green out of your hand to your side of the field so you can climb into some link plays. Play a single copy of Ojama Pink. Ojama Pink is a very interesting card. It's basically Dark World Dealings because it has the ability that if it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, then you can activate this effect that each player draws a card and each player discards a card. Then if the discarded card was an Ojama card, then you can choose one of your opponent's unused monster zones and it can't be used in the opponent's end phase, which is a very powerful effect just to be able to stop your opponent from using one of their zones. We then play 3 copies of Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat is a very pivotal card in this deck because basically when you normal summon this card out to your side of the field, you can send it from your side of the field to the graveyard to be able to special summon out 2 level 3 beast monsters from your deck, or level 3 or lower beast monsters from the deck, which is always going to be your Ojama Blues that you're special summoning to your side of the field. Then swing with those Ojama Blues to get you some searches, which is really helpful. It helps out the deck a lot because it's going to get you those Ojama Blues, which essentially turns into a search 4, which is really helpful for the deck. We then play a single copy of A Assault Core, 1 copy of B Buster Drake, and a single copy of C Crush Wyvern. These are basically here so you can go into your ABC Fusion monster, which is really helpful for the deck. It also helps you go into your copy of your A to Z monster, which is really awesome that you can actually go into that insanely powerful card in this deck. We play a single copy of V Tiger Jet, 1 copy of W Wing Cannon, so you can go into your VW Tiger Wing, which helps out the deck a lot to go into that card, so you can actually climb into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And then you play the same copy of X-Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, and a Z Metal Tank. These are basically here because you need to play one of each of the letter monsters that are just really helpful in the deck to go into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. These are basically just combo pieces so you can go into your other monsters, but you need to play at least one of each of them so you can actually climb. So for the Armed Dragon stuff, we're actually going to be playing 2 copies of Armed Dragon Thunder level 3, which you guys are unfamiliar with what the Armed Dragon monsters do. They all basically share the effect that they become the original Armed Dragon versions of themselves while in the field or in the graveyard, which is why you can actually use Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 to go into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon, which is really helpful because it counts as Armed Dragon level 7. But this card has the ability that once per turn you can send 1 monster in your hand or field to the graveyard, and then send this card to the graveyard. And if you do, you special summon the next level up, which is the 5 monster on your side of the field, from 3 to 5, 7, and then finally 10 in this particular build. And if you send any of them to the graveyard to climb into the next one, you can actually get different effects, where this one lets you draw a card, 5 will actually give you a search of a level 5 or higher wind dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Level 7 will actually let you search your deck for another armed dragon card, which is really cool. And then a single copy of Armed Dragon level 10, which is usually the final boss monster you're going to summon off of this particular line. It's just really cool to actually be able to play the retrains of the monsters in the deck and actually go for another strategy in the deck, just in case you can't go for your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. You can still go for Armed Dragon Thunder level 10, which helps out the deck a lot to go into this really, really awesome boss monster. And at any chance I get, I throw this into the deck, which is really awesome to be able to go into the Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. And it also does count if the monster's in the graveyard, which helps out a lot because you can actually climb into this and have this monster on the field as well. And depending on the amount of attack points, depends on the effects it gets. If it has 1 attack point, its name becomes Armed Dragon level 10. If it has 10 attack points, the controller can't switch. If it has 100 attack points, then it can't be destroyed by battle. If it has 1,000 attack points, then once per turn during either player's turn or during your opponent's turn, you quick effect send a card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one other card on the field and destroy it. And if you do, this card gains 1,000 additional attack. If it has 10,000 or more attack, then you can once per turn destroy all the cards on the field. And it basically becomes an OTK. And it gains those effects depending on the amount of attack points that it has. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More is a very important card for this deck because the Dark Ruler No More is basically going to shut down your opponent and say, hey, that's enough of that on your side of the field. I'm going to go into my copy of my Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. I feel like this is the best option just to shut down your opponent so you can actually climb into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And it helps out a lot of the deck to be able to use this card. Now, they won't take any damage, but when you summon out the Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon to your side of the field, it is going to completely board wipe them, which is going to be really, really helpful because the monster's effects won't be able to activate. We then play 3 copies of Ojama Magic. Ojama Magic is really helpful in the deck too because what Ojama Magic does is whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a copy of Ojama Green, Black, and Yellow from your deck to your hand, which is really helpful just to be able to get those monsters from deck to hand. It counts if it's discarded as well, which is really cool. I love this card in this deck, and it just helps out the deck so much. We play 3 copies of Ojama Match. Ojama Match helps out the deck because it gives you an additional normal summon. You can send an Ojama card from your hand or face in a field to the graveyard to add from your deck to your hand 1 Ojama monster with a different name and an Armed Dragon monster from your deck to your hand or graveyard to your hand. Then immediately after this card resolves, you normal summon one of those monsters. And then during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters and shuffle them back into the deck and then draw a card. So this is how you're going to be usually searching your copy of your Armed Dragon level 3 Thunder to your hand to be able to then normal summon it and then start climbing into your copy of 10. We then play 3 copies of Ojama Mass Assimilation. This card is very, very pivotal for the deck and one of the most important cards for the entire deck to help you climb into your copies of your different Machine Fusion monsters. It has the ability to reveal a light Machine Fusion monster in your extra deck and banish any number of Ojama monsters from your hand, face up on your field, and graveyard to special summon the materials for that monster with different names from your hand, deck, or graveyard, equal to the number of monsters banished to activate this effect. It also has the ability that you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters and shuffle them back in the deck and then draw a card, which helps out a lot because it actually makes it so your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon can actually come out and makes your copy of your Ojama Magic live, which helps out the deck a lot. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the single trap that I play in this deck. It's actually going to be a single copy of XYZ Hyper Cannon. I play this card as a one-of because it's really easy to pull off. I did think about changing it out for an Ojama Pajama. So you can change it out for either or make the deck a 41 card deck if you want to. But what this card basically does is you must control an XYZ Dragon Cannon or a fusion monster that specifically lists that monster on your side of the field. And then depending on the player's turn, depends on the effect that you get. So what this card does is during your turn, you can target one of your banished Union monsters and place it on the bottom of your deck. If you do, you get to draw a card. And if it's your opponent's turn, you can discard any number of cards, then target the same number of cards your opponent controls and destroy those cards as well, which helps you with a little bit of an OTK potential, which is why I decided to play this card as a one-of in this deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon because you're only ever going to summon this card one time. It's never going to happen twice. And this card is very, very awesome. It has the ability, it takes a copy of VWXYZ Dragon Cannon plus a copy of Armed Dragon level 7. Summon this card. This card is an absolutely crazy boss monster because it has the ability, it must be special summoned from your X deck during the duel that you special summon both of the above cards. By banishing the above cards from your field and your graveyard, you don't use polymerization to summon this card. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in the same name as any banished card, and then once returned during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you banish a card from your deck or extra deck face up to banish all cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard, which is a 3,500 attack point monster that basically just board wipes over and over and over again, and it's extremely hard to summon, but it's really easy to summon in this deck. And it's just amazing how powerful this card actually is. We then play a single copy of A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. This is another really powerful boss monster in the deck that takes a lot of monsters to actually summon, but it's a really awesome card. It has 4,000 attack and 4,000 defense, and it takes a ABC Dragon Buster plus an XYZ Dragon Cannon to summon this card, and it has the ability, if you don't use polymerization to summon this card, you basically just banish the cards that you control with the above cards' original names and cannot be special summoned by other ways. And then during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or monster effect, you can discard a card, negate the activation, you do destroy that card. And then during either player's turn, you manage this card and then target one each of your banished ABC and XYZ cannons and then special summon them back to the field, which is really helpful. We then play a single copy of VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. This card is one of the cards that you're going to be using with your Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 on your side of the field to be able to go into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. We play two copies, of ABC Dragon Buster. This card's really good in the deck. I played it too because sometimes you can actually go into the second one, which is what's really cool about this deck, because you have a little bit of backup strategies if you can't go into your copy of your Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. You can go for this card, or you can go in for your copy of your Armed Dragon Thunder level 10, which is really cool for this deck to be able to do. Play a single copy of XYZ Dragon Cannon. This card is another piece that you're going to be climbing into your copy of your VWXYZ, and a single copy of VW Tiger Catapult. Tiger Catapult is another card because it actually takes the XYZ and the VW to make the VWXYZ, and these are just really here to be able to reveal for Ojama Mass Simulation, so you can then special summon out their parts and then contact fuse into them to go into the fusion monster that you revealed, which is what's really amazing about the way the deck plays. So for the other monster we're playing, for the Link monsters, we're playing same copy of Yugioh, because you can actually use Ojama Red to be able to go into this card very easily, help you dig through the deck, put back some of the cards that you don't want in your hand back into the deck so you can special summon them out. One copy of Access Code so we can pop cards. This card's very good. This card can be changed out if you want to. If you're trying to go for a little bit more budget plays, you can drop this card out and play a copy of Borreload or Boral Sword. Play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff, one copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, one copy of the Light Charmer. This card is really good in this deck because everything that we play in the main deck is light anyways. So this card can actually help us out a lot if our opponent's playing light, to go into this card, grab a card out of their graveyard, and then link climb, which is really helpful. One copy of IP Masquerena, so we can link into the unicorn during our opponent's turn. Link Spider, because all of our Ojama monsters that are the copies of the original trio are actually normal monsters, so you can actually go into this card really easily and then climb into another card that you want to, like a copy of IP, by using its effect, special summon out one of your Ojamas from your hand. And then a single copy of Alamirage, because Alamirage helps out the deck a lot with your Ojama Pink, because if you normal summon Pink, you can link it away for Alamirage and then get to draw one and discard one, and if it had Ojama Magic in your hand, you can discard that and then get you a Search of 3, which helps out the deck a lot. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to play around with and really interesting to actually be able to summon out one of the most crazy boss monsters in the entire game ever created in the form of Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And I'm really glad to be able to do these, that you guys comment down in the comments down below. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, you need to update this one, because it's been a long time since I've actually updated this one. So I'm really excited to show you guys what's changed in this build. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.